Hey guys, welcome to a long overdue video. I'm going to be doing a bank video. This is a 2022 Only Trails episode 100 bank video and collection log checkup. It's time for a massive recap of the account. I think after episode 100 we are very much due to one of these. I should do these every year, but I also have a tendency of selling items for bonds, so the bank is maybe not going to be as impressive, even though I spent about 2 hours cleaning it up yesterday. The collection log, however, is where the real juice is. We'll quickly go over the stats just to have a proper recap of the account. We're sitting at a very nice 99 in almost all combats except for range, and the painful 62 prayer. If you guys are wondering why I don't have a higher prayer, well, I can only train skills when I get a clue step for it, and there is no clue step that lets me get over 60 prayer. These 2 extra levels are probably from quests and Shades of Morton. Piety is unfortunately still not a master clue step. Without further ado, let's get into the bank. But not before we have a small message from our sponsor of this video. I'm proud to announce that today's video is sponsored by PUBG Mobile. I was looking around YouTube researching this game and the community is massive. I mean, look at those views! The game has some collaboration with some of the top IPs in the game, like Spider-Man Coming Home, Amazon Prime The Boys, Baby Shark, some brands like Tesla and Koenigsegg, and even Blackpink, the celebrity band, has made a soundtrack for the game. This in turn gives you guys some customizables, unlockables, and skins to play with in the game from brands you might like. There's 50 million daily players and more than 10 game modes to join, solo, duo, or with your squad. With a new one recently added called Ancient Secret Arise, a game mode that will be available on the new maps Erangel, Miramar, and Livik. In this last one, you can actually play football, which is kinda dope. In the Ancient Secret Arise maps, every game has a golden path which will show you the way towards a legendary temple. As you move closer, portals start opening up and you will actually be teleported in the middle of this ancient kingdom. Here, you'll get access to massive amounts of loot. That is, if you can beat the Guardians. Get your team and yourself ready to fight the Ancient Pharaoh, who's protecting some surprise drops. This fight looks kinda dope. Whenever you start a match, you'll be teleported into the spawn area. Don't be afraid of the swirling golden sand floating around. It's a great thematical look. Once in the game, you'll also notice this massive sand giant just traveling around the map, holding a lot of treasure on its back. Make sure to get to it before someone else does. This and so much more is available for free on Apple and Android devices by clicking the first link in the description. Get your squad ready, guys, and download the game. Thank you to PUBG Mobile for sponsoring this video. The bank looks sorta clean, kind of, but we're starting off with a 10 mil cash stack, which continuously dwindles down because I need to buy death runes for barrages. The blood rune stack is looking pretty juicy though. The mind rune stack is absurd, but I mean, which Ironman account doesn't have this many mind runes? The rune pouch currently got teleport to house runes in it. We got 5 master scroll books, which I'll quickly go into. A massive amount of scrolls except for pest control, because these are basically the only ones I use, and a couple of Watson scrolls, so I've got more than 5 master scroll books. The overall value of all the scrolls is about 9 mil. But because I really do use the scrolls, we'll see in the collection log how many I actually got. I've got these planks here because I still need to build a couple master stash units and probably a couple elites. These are my quick gear items. Not really much to see here, just standard stuff that I pick up when I'm doing clues. When we scroll down, it's just cleaned up junk, but there's not really much that I use in this tab anymore. So that's tab number 1. It's basically just the upper part that is important. Let's get into the gear tab. This is a pretty juicy tab, even though we still need to get the Zamorak Godsword and the Bryophytus Essence, the last 2 master steps for the account. We've got the full bandos. That collection log looks insane. The bandos Godsword ornament kit, the full Armadillo before we got the Armadillo helmet, primordial boots that we got during Slayer when we're trying to get the smoldering stone, the fire cape that I lost in the wilderness. I still have the placeholder. The moment I get the master clue step to get a fire cape again, I will go and grab that one back. A couple tridents, a lot of Godsword shards, a couple uninteresting bolts, I'd say. Most of these are probably from Crystal Implix. I don't know how I got so many ruby bolts, to be honest. Scrolling down, we come into my Wieldy Setup, so every time I have a Wieldy clue, I'll wear these 4. We got 2 superior battle staves, bones to peaches, Saradome and D'hide shield that I sometimes use when I use a crossbow, the cannon with barely any cannonballs left, and the beautiful bludgeon on top here is also worth mentioning. We also got that during our Slayer grind, which is probably one of my best ideas ever. Apart from that, the gear tab is pretty alright. Let's get into skilling tab number 1. I'm actually quite surprised by how little ores I have in this tab, but the gems are looking alright. No massive Curtis MMORPG type gem collections, but that is because I stopped Slayer a long time ago and gems are not in clue scrolls. We got the beautiful dragon pickaxe from the Chaos Elemental, I believe, which was indeed a clue step. A couple of dragon axes. An Unked Onyx. Lots of gold bars from Blast Furnace. Decent amount of logs. But in general, just your overall standard skilling tab. Let's move into the Potion and Herb tab, which is pretty terribly laid out. You might think it's pretty if I scroll through here, but to make potions, this is incredibly inefficient. This tab looked a lot worse before I made this video. We had a ton of prayer potions, but as you can see, I've been using a lot of them. I really need to decant my potion. Please don't roast me in the comments. These potions are mega rare drop table on elite clues, which is absolute pain. Saradomin Brews, also from elite clues, so double mega rare drop. The Runar stack is pretty cool. I used to have 800 and something, but I probably sold them for bonds. And a bunch of red spider eggs from the Seracnus KC and the giant X-Sags. Apart from that, the potion tab is just a very quick tab that I use. I used to have 3,000 prayer potions and about 2,000 restores, so slowly but surely they are dwindling, but I feel like I still have pretty much an unlimited supply. Skill tab number 2. Skill tab number 2 is kind of a weird one, because it's filled with bones for prayer and sold heads, which I can never use. Most of these I've already drop traded for bonds, but there is still a big amount. I'll even check how many I've got banked. If I would use the Wieldy altar, I still have 83 prayer banked, which is kind of insane. The main thing about this tab is the Dragonstone teleport gear and the implings. I'm working on a pretty big video that has to do with implings, so wink wink nudge nudge, keep an eye out for that. When we scroll down, we just have rare talismans and tiaras, which I don't really want to drop because I don't want to get them back if I ever need them. Dragon Dart Tips and Dragon Darts are just here because they're from implings. Price check on the baby dragon and the dragon bones, that's about 7 mil in those two. The red D-hides from Seracnus are also pretty significant. Unfortunately, I can only train 130k more crafting XP before that part of the account is also done. Let's move on to the most beautiful tab, and that is the Clue tab. Now this is satisfying. First thing you might notice is the massive stack of purple sweets. I don't think I've used many of these, so this is basically the amount of purple sweets I've got in the lifetime of this account. That's about 3.5 years worth. 23.6 mil in purple sweets, not too bad. And right under that, my pride and joy, the Gilded Plate Buddy. Under that, you might notice that I don't have many Ranger Boots. That is because, as I said, I do drop trade these for bonds. They used to be about 43 mil. I think they dropped in price recently, yeah. But in the collection log, you're going to be able to see how many Ranger Boots I have, and you want to stick around for that, because it's a good amount. When we scroll down, we just see a satisfying palette of colors with all the pages and blessings I've got. And look how many Armadillo collections I have. 17 of the Ancient page 2, 18 of the Barrows page 2. I'm really a fan of the page 2, apparently. You scroll down and go past the ornament kits and nicely color-coded stuff. Noteworthy, we got the Infernal Axe and the Ham Joint, the large spade from Easy Clues, the Gilded Defender, which I used for a very long time on this account, a Cold Ornament, Tormented Ornament, Anguish Ornament. There is still a possibility that after this account is done, I go for all the items I have ornament kits for, so let me know in the comments if you think that's a great idea. We keep scrolling, we come into the darker section of this side of the bank. I think this tab looks absolutely gorgeous. You might wonder what this outfit is doing there. It's just a funny outfit. It looks like I'm naked. Next tab is the Barrows tab. Very, very self-explanatory. The only item we still need is the Darok body. I put a Torak body placeholder there, but this is pretty self-explanatory. 29.4 mil in just Barrows items. Pretty crazy. The food tab is nothing really interesting. It's mainly boosts for clue scrolls. Got Poison Chalice for a crafting boost and a bunch of stews. This tab I rarely use because most of my food is just right here. We got the Dragon Harpoon that we got from Worms during Slayer. And a couple of raw food that I can never cook. The Special tab. Here's a tab with all my pets and stuff that I regularly use or that I just save up. It's basically my Hoarding tab. I've got 81 beginner clues and 61 mossy keys in here because I don't want to have the same situation as a year ago, where I have to grind 545 Bryophytus before I get the Bryophytus Essence. In case you guys didn't know, there's 2 more items that I need to complete this account, the Zamorak Gold Sword and the Bryophytus Staff. I had the Wieldy staff before, but I went 5 times the drop rate. And for a stream challenge on Twitch, twitch.tv/only_trails. By the way, I'm live 12 p.m. CEST every single day, except for now because I'm on holiday. But I had to alch the Wieldy staff. So in case we get that step again, I am prepared with 61 Mossy keys. I'll be opening these 61 beginner clues plus the ones from the Mossy keys once I get the staff again. A dark totem right here with an insane amount of ancient shards. I can go dry about 4 times on the Zami God Sword and still have shards left over. So that's fantastic. I killed 88,000 Moss Giants. I mean, this was to be expected. All my pets over here, which I kind of glossed over, we got Skodos, Rocky, the colored Sriracha, and the pet Kraken, which we recently got back, which I'm super excited about. 3 ecumenical keys for when we get the Zami step, a couple of Obor keys, which I should actually do, 2 muddy keys, 66 grubby keys from Syrachnus, and bursting temple spiders, which I don't really have much to do with. I just think I'm just gonna save them up. These are actually tradable, aren't they? Yeah, that's 3 million grubby keys. Sinister keys, which I should actually trade in, and the 5 Elven Signets, which I gave away in the last episode. If you guys have not commented on the last episode yet, you can win all these Elven Signets worth over 10 mil. The price check isn't right. Then make sure to comment on the last video. I'm not back from holiday yet, so I can't give these away just yet. So you can still enter. A couple of bird's eggs, which I can't use, but it's cool to hoard. 2 champion scrolls, the giant and the imp champion scroll. I actually used to have 26 giant champion scrolls, but I had to alch all of them again for a streaming forfeit. So I cannot flex my 26 giant champion scrolls anymore, and they also don't show up in the log, so you're gonna have to trust me, bro. A couple of jars, my skill capes, the cudgel that I grinded for like crazy, a crystal weapon seed, which I don't really know what to do with, superior bone meal that I made by accident I can't actually use because you need 80 prayer for it, leather for beginner clues, always want to have that in the bank. And I've started my long bone and curved bone collection again, right here. Got a Caliphi Queen head, a Basilisk head, and a KBD head, which I'll use one day. And the 2 Syrachnus recolors, which I also can't do anything with. And that's also the reason why I'm not really opening these grubby keys anymore. The last tab is the alch tab, which I need to dive into again. There's 11.7 million alchs in here. Yes, I do alch these. I rarely put them in the POH. We'll gloss over them soon, but most of the time I alch them because I need loads of cash to supply my death runes so I can burst temple spiders AFK for hard clues. And that is the bank value, ladies and gentlemen. 573 mil. It used to be way more, but let's get into the collection log, the juicy part of this video. Let's quickly check out the combat tasks. I've got easy and medium completed, and I'm not planning on doing any more because that'll maybe overstep a couple of my account restrictions. Unless you guys think it would be a good episode to try and finish the hard combat and elite combat maybe. We'll see. The thing is, I need to get Slayer tasks for him. I'm not sure. Well, let me know what you think. The achievement diaries are looking all right. I can only do achievement diaries if I've already got the items or the skills or the quests done because of a clue step. So we can't go any further than this currently. 253 quest points. The quests that I haven't done are quests that most likely don't give XP or give XP in a skill that I can't at the moment train. Collection log time. We'll just go over the notables. I already see 1 green log in there, but we'll go over Sire real quick. I've gotten 5 Ensires and got a full bludgeon, a jar, and a whip, which is almost ideal. This is my Barrows log that you saw in the previous video, so I don't need to go over it again. And then the beautiful Bryophyta log. 582 and only 1 Bryophytus essence. Keep in mind this thing is a 1 in 118. I still haven't gotten the second one, and I've killed over 30 more. But we'll keep the rest for the big video when we get the step again. Fun fact, if you type only trails in the collection log, you'll get 0 Bryophyta essence. A little joke from Mod Flippy because I went so dry. The Cerberus log is somewhat cool. We killed 276 and got 2 Primordials and a Smoldering. This completed that step, so we couldn't do it again. The Chaos Elemental has been completed by getting the Dragon Pickaxe and the Dragon Two-Hander, 2 clue steps. The Dagonal Kings have basically been completed except for the Mud Battle Staff. I got every single ring because of Slayer tasks and 3 Dragon Axes in the Circle. Done 45 gauntlets apparently, and gotten 1 crystal weapon seed. I sometimes do the gauntlet for elite clues because the rate isn't too bad, but I've been moving on to the corrupted, so this one I don't really do anymore. General Grottor is completed without the pet. An absolute stunning log with 2 chest plates, full bandos, and a hill at 250. This is ridiculous, but I was really glad that I spooned this because this grind was awful back in the day. Probably the grind that got me most burned out of everything. Check out that video if you haven't already, because my god, I was happy with that hild. Grotesque Gardeners apparently did a couple at Slayer and got really tired after 7. The Calphite Queen has been Calphite Queen completed at 33 except for the jar and the pet. The KQ head, a Dragon Chain Buddy, and a Dragon Two-Hander. Absolutely insane. I think I got the Dragon Two-Hander from Chaos Elemental though. Couple of KBD kills, 52. I got the Dragon Pick from Chaos Elemental, but we got the KBD heads at 52, so pretty cool. Kraken has been completed at 597 during the Slayer grind. Absolutely crazy log. The beautiful Kree log at 389. We were done with Armadillo except for the hilt, so that is fantastic too. Went kind of on drop rate for the helmet. It was also the last item I needed, so pretty cool. This one will be continued if I get the Zamorak hilt step, so I won't go over it too much. The Sarachnis log is crazy. 2 pets in 1.6. A cudgel finally after 1.6, but no jar yet. I'm not sure if I got the Onyx from Scotizo. That would be absolutely insane, but I think I might have. 93 KC, 1 Dark Totem, and 6 Dark Claws. No Jar of Darkness. Absolutely unlucky. Let's move on to the important log, and that is clues. 1,601 beginner clues to complete the log. I completed the log 6 times over even. This is crazy lucky, but it's still really cool to see. I don't think I need to go over this much. Most obtained item is the bare feet. Easy clues, we actually really should do another easy clue opening. Because I've only got 94 out of 131, so there's still a lot of log slots to get from here. However, a lot of them are super rare. We've gotten 1 Team Capex, which is our rarest item from easy clues. And I'll just scroll through the rest so you guys can see. We did get the ham joint, which is also quite rare. The rainbow is probably one of the best fashion scapes in the game, but we still need a good amount of elegant. And of course, the Monk G, the rarest thing in easy clues. 718 completed, so we should go for 1,000 soon. Medium clues is a pretty cool log. We got 5 ranger boots, 4 wizard boots, 4 holy sandals, 4 climbing boots, and 2 spiked manacles. That's pretty average. 1,047 done, and only 6 more items needed to complete the log. The adamant plate legs T, the Bandos Crozier, the white boater, black and white unicorn mask, which I think is the most rare, and a wolf mask. We did complete every single elegant piece though, so that is the rarest items already out of the way. The next big video might have to do with this collection log. Hard clues. 106 out of 134 at almost 600 hard clues. Really good log, actually. 28 more to go until I complete this log with the Dragon Boots Ornaments Kit, the Armadillo Full Helm. But the problem is that there are very rare items that I still need. T-Hide Shields and Heraldic Rune Blade Bodies. It's gonna take a while to complete this log, but at least it's doable now that the mega rares are not in this log anymore. Maybe one day. 3 Robin Hood hats are very notable. A load of ancient D-Hide, which is super unfortunate because I still need a lot of pieces of other D-Hide. 2 Armadillo D-Hide shields, but we do have all the dragon masks, which is also quite rare, I believe. Elite clues, 20 out of 59 and 147. By the end of the series, I still need to do 53 elite clues to at least finish up the milestone reward of the heavy casket. Ranger Tunic was my very first elite clue reward, which was absolutely insane. A lot of royal, a couple of dupes, but we've been really notoriously unlucky with elite clues. I'll scroll through it real quick, but this log is looking pretty gross. Monster clues we've done 54 of, and we've gotten 12 uniques. No Bloodhound pet yet, but a bunch of ornament kits, which is pretty lucky. Monster clues are pretty difficult to get uniques from. If we go into the mega rares, the only one I have is a Gilded Blade Buddy, but I've rolled on the table about 4 or 5 times and gotten potions and battle staves. So unfortunately, this is so far my only mega rare. We've completed 4,163 clue scrolls, and our shared treasure trail reward looks like this. The coolest thing is going to be the teleport scrolls. Look at this. Also, we've got a couple more purple sweets than are in the bank. This is an absurd amount of clue things. I got a very low amount of purple firelighters actually compared to the other ones. In the minigame section, there is nothing really interesting, so I'll gloss over that. We're gonna get into something special here in the other section. 4 pets out of 51. You guys saw those in the bank. 3 champion scrolls. The Goblin Champion Scroll, the Imp Champion Scroll, and the Giant Champion Scroll. Again, I had 24 of those. The Dragon Defender has been obtained through Slayer. I got a Hill Giant task and went to slay Cyclopses. Big brain. I have yet to kill a Demonic Gorilla because there is not a single clue step that takes me to Monkey Madness 2. Jagex, please add it. I really need to get on this random event log. This is embarrassing. The Slayer drop log is pretty funny too. We got an Eternal Gem, a Dust Battle Staff, and anything else interesting? I guess the Ruined Boots, considering that was one of the massive grinds. If you guys still remember the Ruined Boots grind back in the day, then leave a comment about it, please, because that is an OG moment right there. The Miscellaneous tab, however, is pretty cool too. I think it stops tracking at 250, so I probably had gotten more long bones, but it's just stopped tracking. 183 total ecumenical keys, a bunch of dark totems from all those 88,000 Moss Giants, 11 dragon spears, 6 shield left halves, 250 plus Mossy keys, but obviously it doesn't track more than that, 19 elven signets, and 19 giant keys, an Uncodonyx, and 2 more X-Acts. And I think that concludes the recap of the Only Trails account, guys. If there's anything else you would like to see, please leave it in the comments and I will go over it in the next episode. The gameplay time on this account is 183 days and 4 hours, so that's a pretty hefty amount of gameplay. We've got 161 mil total XP, but a lot more to go. We are not done with the account yet. If you guys enjoyed this long, chill video, then please leave a like on it and subscribe. If you guys have not caught up with the Clue Scroll series and you watched this entire video, then go back. We have a playlist of 100 videos. What are you doing? I thought it'd be nice to recap everything, even though it might have been boring to some of you guys. Some of you guys might have found it really interesting. So if you enjoyed the video, thank you, and I hope to see you in the next one, which is going to be a video where I teach you how to get Clue Scrolls AFK. So you might want to watch that. See you guys after my holiday, and peace out.